welcome to the Conversation Radio. We're here at the HighVibe Studios. I am Amazing Maze, and we have a guest today, Dr. Raf Steele, and he will be talking a little bit about wealth building and generational wealth. So, Dr. Steele, how was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. It's always work for me on the weekend, but I had a great weekend.
Okay, okay. And my weekend in particular, it was very busy. Got some things done. Worked on some speaking engagement materials that I have coming up. Actually, an event on April the 7th, and that'll be at Texarkana. It is a storytellers workshop series that I'll be doing, and on April the 14th I will be doing a Dream Board Jam event back in Little Rock, Arkansas, which is closer to my hometown, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So definitely, if you're in the Texarkana or the Little Rock area, be sure that you come out and support us and get all the information you need, as we're going to have a great time. Right, Dr. Steele, I'm glad that you made it in. Can you tell us a little bit about your wealth building company that you have?
Yeah, my wealth building company consists of basically four prime areas. The primary area is financial literacy, which you're helping people to increase their understanding of wealth. A secondary area is advocacy, advocating for people who have nothing, people who what you would say poor and want to get out of the poverty trap that they live in. The third area is more or less investments, teaching people how to invest so as they invest, they won't be left out.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And they can be a part of and achieve and reach the American dream. And then the fourth part is basically research and basically training others to become wealth educators and people who understand wealth, and that main point would be policy, because a lot of people don't understand is if you have the right policies, those policies can help people reach and accomplish those wealth and financial goals that they need. And that includes what I call collective wealth.
Okay.
Because wealth in itself is collective.
Okay. Wow. Okay, let me post this. All right, you're giving us a plethora of information right now. What are some other things that you're doing within wealth? Are you doing investments? You're doing stock? Are you doing insurance? What does that really consist of when you break that down?
When you talk about wealth, wealth is, okay, if you're going to talk about wealth from an investment point, that's a broad area. So that includes investments of insurance, of stock, mutual fund, annuities, Roth IRAs, but it also includes investing in gold, gold, buying gold coins, but it also includes buying land. But it also includes, if, say for instance, you may not own a business, but you might want to invest in a business. So it's a broad spectrum of wealth and investments, and more than anything, though, it's a diversified perspective of wealth, because unless you really are diversified, then you're really not investing right anyway.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. You know, I actually did some research, and I had a question for you in regard of wealth building. Now, how can we get our children involved?
Well, the first thing is it's a two-pronged thing. First of all, really parents should learn or engage in learning wealth, i.e. financial literacy. So if they understand it, then now it's easier to teach, train, lead, guide, and help your children understand. Well, now that's the A part. The B part is really every parent should have some kind of investment on their children. So now, and especially at an early age, a lot of times people don't realize is if you can invest with a child 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and do a quality investment and just let it sit. Now when that child gets 20, 30 years old, that child got some wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Got some money because of the compound, you know what I mean? Compound interest is amazing when you talk about wealth. And the younger you are, you know what I mean, it compounds better because you're younger. Now as you get older, you have something. Okay. You acquire, you accrue that interest, and then just keep putting it in there and just leave it alone. Wow, don't touch it. Wow, it's amazing how much money that people can really make by an early investment.
Okay. Wow, this is a lot of good information that you're giving us. What would be? How can I get started? Just which type of investment? If I want to build wealth, what is one thing that I should look at first, and then go ahead and look at everything else? What is one thing that I really need to look at first before building wealth?
The first thing a person should do, anybody should do, is first of all is look at everything they have, both assets and liabilities. Okay. Then do what I call a financial assessment, a needs analysis, financial. And once you've done that assessment, now you can come back and set wealth goals. And once you set those wealth goals, now you come back and set a wealth plan. Okay. Everybody should have a wealth plan. Okay. And what is a wealth plan? A wealth plan is basically a strategy to help you become wealthier and accumulate and acquire and become, again, achieve that American dream that hopefully most people still desire and want to, you know what I mean, accomplish.
Okay. Okay. This is really good. So when I'm getting my family involved, do I just do my immediate family, or should I just get my other extended family involved as well? How do I go about this?
Well, you have to start somewhere, right? Like everything, you start somewhere. So what you do is you start first with those who you have built and have a relationship with, because in anything we do that's successful, the key is having a quality relationship with that person, even in your family. So now you start with your immediate family who you have a relationship with and help them build their wealth, which also, by the way, is called collective wealth. See, real wealth is not individualistic, no way, unless you inherit something. But people who don't have wealth, but they're seeking to develop wealth, it's better anyway if you do it collectively. That's why in one of the books I wrote is three. When you look at wealth, you want to look at it from 3 generations, because if you look at by 3 generations, now you have 3 people, 3 generations helping each other, and it's better, easier, and you can be more successful that way rather than trying to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people fail in life because they try to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
And I know that not always, sometimes we don't always or may not have others who want to or will, but there's still some people who will help.
Okay. Interesting. Now, of course, some of us are still employed. They not be entrepreneurs or full-time entrepreneurs. And from what I understand, most people get insurance, they get 401ks. What can I do with my 401k right now for retirement? Can I pull some money from it? Can I put it in the IRA? What are some strategies that I can do with that?
Well, sometimes it might be. It depends. Again, it depends on the situation. You know what I mean? It depends on how long you've had your 401k, how much you have in your 401k. What do you want to do with it? What's the goal? If you move money out of your 401k, then what would be the goal?
Right.
You don't want to just move it just for the sake of moving it. And so the other thing is you might want to consider a lot. You know what I mean? You might want to leave. Don't touch the 401k, but open up another account.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big believer, like most people now who are really becoming wealthy, and those who understand it is, we at minimum we all really need 3 streams of income anyway.
Right.
And see, a 401k could be considered in some ways one stream. Then you open up an IRA, that could be a second stream.
Okay.
You got a job, you're working every day, 9 to 5, that could be a third stream.
Right.
So it did, again, remember though, it goes back to what are your goals? What are you trying, what would you want to accomplish? You know what I mean? I don't just tell people start pulling stuff.
Right,
I mean,
right.
and if you're going to pull something, or move, or transfer something, why are you doing it?
Okay.
What are you trying to accomplish? And now, if you have a goal, I've seen people pull some percentage of monies out of their 401k to go in business, to
Right.
start an entrepreneur journey. I mean, I've seen that type of situation,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, but it depends on what. What are the goals that person have before they do anything?
Right. Right.
And so, because I'm a big believer in, well, no matter what you do you assess where you are, where you want to go, and what are you trying to accomplish, and then you make this decisive, ideals and decisions that will impact you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, or what
Right.
have you.
Okay. Awesome. Now, I was reading, and just to kind of go back in time when we were talking about wealth building and, different various communities
Sure.
had, built their wealth different types of ways. And I pulled something from Black Enterprise, and it talked about, just not to exclude anybody, but the black buying power. And right now it says it stands at 1.1 trillion. And down the road we're going to hit 1.5 trillion by 2021. So we're looking at almost $2 trillion. And basically they were saying that it shows less than around 3% that is currently black buying power that's being spent and owned by Black Enterprise. But if we spend just 10% of our total black spending, basically it can create 1 million jobs. So when you're looking at different types of communities, can you kind of, and I know you know history, you're very intelligent about history and this, being in the financial world, can you kind of tell us a little bit more about what it takes to have a community and getting that money circulating? What are some things we should be doing, or at least try to do?
Okay, that's a very good question you're asking. Well, one of those things is the obvious, is we need more African American people, both men and women, who will become business owners. In fact, we need to increase. Right now in America, we only have about 7, maybe 8% of the total business owners of just African Americans. So basically, 93 to 92% of all businesses are not owned by somebody else. So that's one thing we need to. My take is, in per capita within the African American community, we need to, at minimum, increase the number of business owners by. We need to have it like a staggered way every year, increase it to 10% every year, which, and ultimately, so we'll have at least 40% African American business owners. That's one. The other issue is we need to increase the level of financial literacy among African Americans. So we understand what it means to be wealthy. And that starts where? In the mind. See, wealth, really, the first principle of wealth is the mindset. You know, you either have a culture of wealth or you have a culture of poverty. And unfortunately, a lot of people have a culture of poverty in their mind. If you have a culture of wealth in your mind, that's what you're going to do. Okay. It speaks for itself. A third thing is that there is a lower percentage. 2/3 of African Americans have monies in places and it is not invested in the type of investment that will actually help them and help us create more wealth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A lot of African Americans have money just sitting in the bank, losing interest and actually losing money.
Wow.
That's one issue. A fourth issue is a lot of time when the African American, when we spend money on depreciative things versus spending and investing money on appreciative assets. You know what I mean? So if a person, give you an example. You can, like I said earlier, you don't have to be a business owner to invest in somebody else's business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so in order to help that person's business sustain itself long term. The fifth thing, in my opinion, is when you look at wealth, just even from a mindset, you have to look at wealth from a long-term perspective. Unless you go to a casino and win a bunch of money, which most people are not going to do,
Right.
you know, the odds are against it, you have to look at wealth long-term. Long-term. That's include now that the age limit, you know what I mean, is moving up, you know what I mean, even though some people die early, but in general, the age limit is moved up. In fact, most investments in insurance actually go out to 121. Most people won't live to be 121, but that's how far the projections of the insurance, you know what I mean, and the investment will go up to 121, 125. But beyond that, the sixth thing is basically we have to look at, well, if you look at most business entrepreneurs, the 92 to 93% of business owners in America, most of them is not a one business owner. It is a 2, 3, and 4 business owner. Most African American businesses are owned by one person. Which most other cultures, business owners are owned by 2, 3, 4, and several other aggregate business owners. So in general, they're actually making more money per business because you have more people involved in it, and it is a collective entrepreneurship, not an individualistic entrepreneurship. That's the other. And then the last thing I'd say, because I could go on and on with it, but the last thing I would say is that when you look at wealth, you have to look at wealth from what I call 3 generations. What did I mean by that? 3 generations is legacy. Legacy. Everybody that's living ought to always have some type of investment. You know, you mentioned earlier about children. If you're a father and a mother, then you should automatically have some kind of investment for your children. And if need be, also your grandchildren. 3 generations. If you look do the research, in my research, I discovered that all the other generations, all the other cultures, their wealth is based on 3 generations, not just one generation.
Okay.
And so when you look at wealth, if you look at it from a generational perspective, now you're looking at legacy. And when you look at legacy, guess what? You won't have as much of the poverty that you see in some situations. So there's so many other things that we can do.
Miss Lotus J, who is our producer, want to ask a question? Go ahead and ask, Lotus J.
Well, you know, I have a fetish for building black wealth and just entrepreneurship. My question to you is, how do we get our community to see the importance? Because I personally don't think that we have a fighting chance if we don't learn how to work together collectively. Like I was listening to what you were saying about businesses, and in our communities, we always try to do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas other communities know how to come together, and I'm trying to see what is that block when it comes to people of African descent that keeps us from working together to build financially.
Well, I think that's a very, very good question. That question should be taught. That question should be asked nationwide, worldwide, actually, because not just in African American America. I've been all over the world, so that's a question should be asked with African Americans in the whole African diaspora. Now, the answer to your question is simply one of the issues with African American or people of African descent is, see, first of all, there's only two kinds of people, two types of people, rather, let me be clear, and people who are healed and they're healers. There are people who are hurt and they hurt people.
Right.
We have a lot of folks who are hurting and are hurt and they don't know it. And so what they do is they strike out at each other. We're striking out at each other and we don't even realize it. We argue and bicker over stuff that don't even matter. Rather than letting go of that pain and whatever it is and say, wait a minute, I'm going to achieve far more if I help you or if I help another sister or another brother. And we all will increase and be far better off because two heads have always been better than one anywhere, in any culture, in any race, in any religion, in any institution, in any planet. If you have one person only doing it by themselves, their chances increase for failure. When you have a conglomerate, a aggregate group of people who will say, wait a minute, it's also beneficial for me to help invest and unify and help others. So part of the other answer to your question is, those of us who are already in business and are seeking business, we have to say, wait a minute, time out. I'm committed to help anybody who's African American in business, regardless, and not in a competitive sense.
Exactly.
In other words, if you're in business right now and I'm in business, I don't have to compete against you. What I need to do is work my business, support you in working your business, and we all get there successfully. That's really where we need to go. The other thing is, which I think is more, two things. And one is every African American that's breathing have to come to the understanding that until we in America and in the world understand that unless you become wealthy, you ain't doing nothing but wasting your time. You're going to fail. Because you cannot live in this world without wealth. That's number two is everyone needs to look at wealth and develop a plan, a strategic wealth plan in writing so they can see it, feel it, read it, understand it, and then execute it. And if that doesn't happen, then now we're just fooling ourselves.
Yeah.
Write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's Habakkuk 2:2. And so people can understand it, isn't it? And we're trying to do things, and the thing is a lot of us, if you can go right now, me and you and LaShawna could go right now in any city, in any state, and you'll have black leaders, men and women who have a heart. They want to do something. The one thing I noticed in my travels all over this country that's left out is we're leaving out the most important thing, and that's economic and wealth. We do it. Like right now, they getting ready to go march on D.C. I'm not opposed to it, but if that march does not include helping sisters like you, like LaShawna, and other black women and other black men own their own business so they're running well and they're making good money. They don't have to rape, rob, steal, sell drugs, hook and crook. And we're wasting our time. And so I'm an advocate like you are for this. Doesn't make any sense for us to live in a country that's affluent as it is and not have businesses. So we can hire people and make good money, live happy, and live the American dream, but more importantly, be blessed by God. Because I don't think God created us to be poor.
And I don't really see how we can, and I'm going to fall back to LaShonda.
That's
I'm sorry,
okay.
May.
No, go ahead.
May.
Yeah.
But
That's okay.
I don't, I'm really concerned about the state of our community, not even right now as much as in the future.
Mhm.
And I think that where we lost it is we really don't see the value in the village concept
Yeah.
and working together. Like everybody wants to be an island,
Yeah.
and everybody has
Doesn't
to be.
work.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
And everybody has to be. And we all know
Doesn't
HINC. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
You don't have
Doesn't work.
a million chiefs and no Indians and think that you're going to get anywhere.
The-
Indians
no, no.
need a chief, and a chief need Indians.
The creative process of human beings is the core of it is people working together. There's a term that I coined because I've been teaching at University of Texas Austin as a professor. One of my terms is I call it QBN, quality business relationships. And what I've come to and quality business relationship, if people do not build, see, businesses is not just money, businesses is relationships. You relate, if there's a person that you don't like, you're not going to do business with them. If we can develop better quality relationships with people, it's going to go well. I mean, I've been in business years, and I'm sad to say that sometimes people come in and they, we got trust issues, all kind of stuff. It don't make any sense when I'm giving you everything but the same thing I gave you, which I gave you less price, you go across the street and charge you 3 times, but yet you get mad at me.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean, our people just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I have to turn my mic off now. This is my passion right here. So
Well, this is, you can see, this is
okay,
my,
Lotus,
listen, wealth creation, in fact, my philosophy is the human, it's a human right to be wealthy. It's not a human right to be poor. And my passion is that everybody has that right. They just got to get up off of who, develop a plan, put it in right, and work it out. And it will happen. I'm a living witness. Well, anyway, you can see it's my passion too.
I love it.
In fact, I think nothing else matters unless you are creating a wealth legacy for yourself, for your children, like you said, LaShonda, like you're saying also, for your extended family. Everybody, really, I believe everybody should have a right to be wealthy.
I totally
And that
agree.
transcends race, culture, creed, religion. It don't make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really doesn't make any difference.
Right.
Totally agree.
One day I was talking with, I'm not sure it was a coworker or just someone, because sometimes you have people walk
Sure,
up
sure.
to you and you converse. And it was really interesting because the young lady said that she was looking at the state of black wealth herself, and she was saying we never had any communities, we never had any businesses, and we never did much, and it was a very negative
Sure.
output that she gave to me. And she obviously didn't do research
Right, exactly.
about our history to kind of understand where we came from and the struggles we had, but we are resilient people and some of the great things we've done. And I had to remind her, I had to go back in time
I
to
know where
kind of
you're going.
remind her of some things that took place years ago when you talk about the Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma deal. The Black Wall Street and all the businesses and all the great things they had, and they were entrepreneuring, they had wealth, they had a lot of great things, but not only that one, but you had other prominent black neighborhoods such as in New York and Chicago and Knoxville, East St. Louis. But then not only that, we even go further back in time, even before slavery, when you talking about all the great things that we invented, agriculture,
Correct.
industry. I had to remind this one young lady because she was so against the wigs and weaves. And I said, hey, did you know that our African ancestors invented wigs and weaves and hot combs and all that kind of stuff? Just all kinds of great things that we've done. But she wasn't very knowledgeable of the great things we've done. So I feel like when you know your history and connect with your history, then you see all the great things that are there.
Correct.
And maybe that will kind of enlighten you, and maybe possibly put some momentum behind what you want to do, to know that no, our people just didn't come for slavery, but we came from great people and some great things. What's the guy named Musa? Is that right, Lotus J?
Yeah.
He was one of the wealthiest men, you know,
Ever lived. Yeah.
ever lived.
Yeah.
And you know, you have also all these kings and queens that we also talk about that came, you know, out of
Correct.
Africa. So it's not like we never had anything or had the entrepreneurship or never had wealth. Of course, history kind of broke it up in between
Right.
because of various events. But when you really take a look at that, what can you say to people and just remind them that we come from great people and so forth? And we can gain that wealth back.
Yeah, one of the problems with us, people like who you were talking about, is we have to create more models of wealth. See, the problem with most people is they only go by what they see,
Mm-hmm.
and so the theory versus visuality doesn't help people who doesn't think critical or analytical. So my point is, you have a bunch of people, both throughout intergenerational,
Yeah, any
is
generation.
they have not always seen models of wealth. And so even sometimes when you don't, that's why we have to create more brothers and sisters who own something. So now when somebody drive up the street, any street, and they see more African Americans own something, now that becomes a visual image affixed in the concreteness of their mind and their thought and their emotional reality, that if I can see us doing that, now that's something that we can do. Give you an example. To have Barack Obama as a man of African descent being president
Right.
was critical, because what that does, even from a wealth standpoint, it gives little boys and little girls the mindset that one day maybe I can be the president too.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
can be. So we have to just continue to give people as many of the models that we have, that we know about, having a conversation. Like even this show here, to me, is this show here, HighVibe Media Marketing, is absolutely outstanding, because more of these kinds of things need to exist with you know what I mean, with it don't matter who owns it. What matters is a sister owns it. That's what matters.
Right.
It's a person of African descent. In other words, a queen owns it. A black queen owns it. And so you got another black queen here, two black queens. I'm sitting between two great black queens who are professional, who had good heart. Y'all not on the street. You ain't selling your body. You ain't on drugs. As we give more models like this here, that's what's going to conquer this tragedy that exists, because it's a mental thing, really. I've come to the conclusion it's all in the mind.
Yeah.
Because if you think wealthy, then you're going to do something to make yourself wealthy. If you think you ain't got nothing, that's where you're going to stop at as well.
Right. Growth mentality.
Exactly. And so I don't think like that. I'm a wealthy man. I live wealthy. I mean, I fly, I go places. I work all over the country. I'm going to continue to do that and keep pushing that, you know what I mean, that mindset of wealth, whether I do it in the religious part, whether I do it, I mean, I'm a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. 06 when Martin Luther King was there and W.B. Du Bois. I'm going to keep pushing it through there. I'm going to push it no matter what.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Nice. I like this. Michael Moore says, great conversation. Actions speak louder than words. And then he said 1619 through 1919 equals 400 years. Better quality relationship. Kendra said wealth talk. Thanks guys for posting. We appreciate it. And I totally agree with you, Dr. Still. And I really like how you said when you see other black people building wealth or in high positions and they're like a model for other people or even the younger people.
Sure.
And that does give us hope. And I like you said that because when I joined Toastmasters International, it is it's mixed with everything from around the world. And that's a great thing. And I would see people like myself here and there. But then I started researching speakers like Les Brown, Willie Jolly, Delatero, McNeil, and some other great people, Lisa Nichols, Eric Thomas.
Sure.
And I said, wow. I didn't know they were even out there. And I was like, wow, I like that. And I just started listening to them. And then all of a sudden, I found more people that looked like me that were public speakers. And it just heightened my mind to just kind of look at, oh, okay, absolutely. If they can do it, I know I can do it.
That's right.
And I had coaches and mentors. Didn't look like me, but that was okay because they believed in me and they saw what
Exactly.
that was in me. And I knew I had it. I knew I had to give, but that just kind of helped me when I saw other people,
Right.
you know, that's doing better than me or been down that road. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I can do that. Let me connect with them. Let me do this. Let me do that. And it helps so much.
And see,
because I gain a plethora of knowledge from them.
Correct.
Network, and they can give me some insight, and whatever little bit I have, I can give to the next person, and so forth.
Well, see, I believe that real culture is all culture.
Mm-hmm.
Real culture is inclusive, not exclusive.
Right.
All cultures is inclusive, not exclusive. Mm-hmm. There is no culture that's exclusive.
Yeah.
Now, you may find some people that try to be exclusive, but real culture, a real culture man, a real culture woman is inclusive of everyone. Mm-hmm. But listen, not exclusive also of your own culture.
Okay.
You have to include your own culture and then include all cultures.
Okay.
That's how I look at the world, because we're nothing more than just one big human race that's breathing, living, eating, and dying, and bleeding, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we are everything. But I always tell people, don't exclude your African culture, because your African culture is the cradle of civilization.
Yeah.
So you can't do that either. You have to be inclusive, but starting including yourself first. Okay. Because if you leave yourself out, then you ain't got nothing no way.
Okay.
So that's exactly. You have to have your foundation, and that's the same with wealth. Mm-hmm. Because wealth starts with who? You. Mm-hmm. Wealth starts with your mind and your heart and your pocket and your bank and your home and your land and your investments and your money and your degree and your intelligence and your understanding and appreciation for what you have accomplished, what you can do, and how you can help others, including yourself. Because it's a collectiveness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it.
Okay, cool. Well, I know we got to take a 5-minute break. The time is 6:46. So I definitely want to take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back. Welcome back to the Conversation Radio. We're here at the HighVibe studio with Lotus J.
They finally let me come on this side of the camera and sit in and hang out with Amazing Maze. They usually keep me back there.
Yes. And it's going to be a good evening.
Yes, it is.
We just had Dr. Steele on. He was telling us about wealth building. He was giving us a plethora of information, how we can get our family involved, different things and tips to do. And that was very wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Ralph Steele, for coming in and sharing that information with us. Now we're going into the second part of our show. And I have Lotus J here with me. Tag teaming, right?
Hey, let's
team.
get it. Let's get it.
And basically, what we're going to definitely do, I've been researching a lot. You know, growing up, I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up, my mom used to give me an allowance. And I think I got it like every month, maybe $10 or $20 she would give to me. And I saved it somewhat and spent it, just whatever it was. But honestly, I can't really remember my family, anybody in my family, talk about investing, wealth building. Most of the time they said, go get a job, save your money. Because normally that's what the talk is in African American community. Right. Unless there may be one that may leave some money or some,
but that doesn't happen that often in our communities.
Very often is not something that we normally do. But now, since I have opened the door to entrepreneurship, networking with different people, and they're educating me on this, I'm really excited because I know one day when I have a family and children, I know this is something I definitely want to do. I remember being at Epic House one Saturday and we were doing some PR work for this show. And Epic had me over there taking some notes. But what I appreciate about Epic, he was teaching his children generational wealth building. And he put on a presentation for all 4 of his children. And he explained what Epic stood for and what they were going to do in the community, what they were going to do on the state level, and get people to come in and help these children grow from the 9th to the 12th grade. Basically, it was to cut out the prison pipeline system, and he was using some sports and things. Epic, I'm not going to tell all your business like that. But it was very powerful. It was very good, and he was sharing that information. And he broke it down. I was taking notes, and then he assigned his children something to do, whether it's learning about social media, how to work that. One was fitness. The other, how to do resumes and so forth. And he gave them a project. This was like the week before spring break. So it was a Sunday.
So they had assignments over spring break.
Yeah, so they had an assignment they had to get done. And he was saying that they have a meeting twice a month. And it was really amazing. I had never seen that. You know, we talk about, but I actually saw it in action. I was blown away. So way to go, Nathan. But yeah, I thought that was really good of how he had his kids involved. So what is your input on that so far?
I think it is very important. As a matter of fact, I think we do our children an injustice by not preparing them to be financially stable. And in my opinion, you really need to have several streams of income in order to really take advantage of financial stability, because in this life, specifically for our people, it is so very unpredictable, and we don't want to be like, there are so many of us, including myself, where a situation happens and it changes your life. So we don't want to be so vulnerable. We don't want to be in situations where our lives and our livelihood and the well-being of our families and everything is contingent on this one job.
Right.
So if you have like a traditional family, mother, father, and children, let's say mother, father, 3 children, or a single parent and 3 children,
just for an example, if the father is the sole provider, and he's been on his job for 20 years working, you think that this is longevity. So if something happens one day,
Right.
we have a new administration, or there's a crash in something, downsizing, and they're not prepared,
Oh, wow.
that literally changes. It can flip your life upside down.
Right.
So I don't think we do our family, specifically our children, the justice that is needed in order to make sure that we can sustain financially.
Okay.
So, for example, my children are my business partners
Okay.
with HighVibe. So this is we fresh, off the ground, still birthing and planning and figuring and learning and all of that. But we talk and we, this is what we need to do and this is what we need to do. And they're young,
Yeah.
However, we have to get back to the point. Like I was one of the fortunate ones where I grew up pretty stable for the most part of my life financially. My parents were. But then when the bottom dropped out, it really dropped out.
Yeah.
My father passed. The insurance was not in place.
Oh, wow.
And it changed the course of our lives. So these are
Wow.
things that we have to teach our children in order to turn the ship and bring our people out of financial ruin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I agree. Wow. I wish I would have gotten this teaching earlier in my life, but that's okay. It's never too late to learn.
No, it's not. Mhm.
And to do what's best for you and your family or future family that you want to have. And I just kind of look at it, I'm like, wow, all this information, and it's very, very mind-blowing. And to actually see other people in action doing it, because you hear about it, and then finally you start looking into it and putting in place and finding people to network that has this information. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I agree with you when you said streams of income, because I remember being here and one job folded under me. Now, thank God I had money put away.
But what if you didn't?
But what if I didn't?
And you had to tap into that.
Right. And it actually trumped me into going into entrepreneurship. So that was pretty important for me. Now, I will say after that, when I did that, I always had two incomes. So full time and then my
Something else,
because I was doing Mary Kay.
And even now,
Something
like you're
else, but
speaking,
even now.
like in all honesty, another thing that we need to do is learn how to turn our hobbies and the things that we just like into financial gain, because you really can literally almost take anything and make you some type of money.
Right.
But we just don't think that far. Like, for example, you with your public speaking.
Right.
You going through the training process, but this is something that you enjoy doing. It's something that you invest. So why not be compensated for that? It's something, and I really don't believe that we were put here on this earth just to work hard for somebody else and build somebody else's wealth.
Right.
And we are miserable, we hate our lives, we're cranky, we mean to the people we live with because we don't like our jobs and all this kind of stuff. Well, I really believe that if we tap in enough, we can learn how to enjoy what we're doing and make us some money.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree. And I agree, because when I sat down last year, I made a plan. I said, I got to write books. I got to do public speaking. I'm very passionate about it. I have so much information I can give other people, and just to kind of better help them with that. And I was really excited, and I went for it.
Good.
And I'm all about that goal setting, right? That goal setting. And I made my vision plain. I did my dream board, and I got to work, and I got to do it. And as you all know, I did my first event in January, and I have 2 events coming up.
Tell us about those.
Okay. My event in April the 7th, I am going to be in Texarkana, Arkansas. It's borderline. It's right on the border. So it's Texarkana, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas, right there on the borderline. Gosh. And I will be there. I will be doing a storytellers workshop series, which I'm really excited, because storytelling is one of my favorite things I love to do. Who doesn't love
See?
a great story?
See?
I get excited like a kid in Candyland somewhere. I get so excited because this is a part of me that started growing when I started working with children. And for all you that don't know, I work in special education. So, of course, every day is a story.
Right.
Funny, sad, And over a period of time, I just started writing these stories down. And then reading children's books to the students. And have a vocal variety and all this fun stuff. And it's been wonderful. I actually belong to a Toastmaster club called Storytellers. And in this workshop, I am actually going to break down the different elements of storytelling. As far as the body language, the vocal variety, how to create your story, the science behind it, what it does to your brain, what it does to your memory, how to get the message out there, how you use storytelling in your business, social media. It can be a weight loss story. It can be a story of adversary. And how you be effective with it. What is your message? How you get it out there and connect with people. So it's a lot of
This
great
is a
things.
prime example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Something as simple of you probably grew up loving story time. And you've taken that and turned it into what could be a career.
Yeah.
Now, who would ever think that being 5 or 6 and just loving to hear stories and probably making up your own stories and
I
you look
did that too.
right, but who would think that you can actually take that and turn it? We don't really teach that to our children and encourage them to tap into those very basic things like that.
Yeah.
That can really, produce an income.
Yeah, and it's just been a journey, a journey that I love because when I was standing and giving my speeches to many people, and after I would hear, wow, I can fit your shoes for that, or I understood, or I remember when this, so I connected with people with my message, because the important thing about a message is that people need to hear it and they need to understand that they're not alone, that you went down this journey, or somebody that's going down that road too, and you connect with people that way, and you draw people into listening to you more about what it is that you're trying to do or something. They may want to, I don't know, have a transformation themselves and don't know how, but hearing your story, you may have something else to offer them. So
and that makes it encouraging and realistic
it really
and
does.
possible in their minds.
And then the Dream Board event is April the 14th in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's called Dream Board Jam. Yeah, Dream Board Jam. And basically it's my cousin. I was trying to make sure I was right.
Cute.
It's my cousin event, but I am the keynote speaker there. And I will be talking about a couple of things like detoxing, spiritual detoxing, mental, emotional, psychological. Because talk about that. We're going to talk about grit. We're going to talk about cognitive dissonance. And then just having a positive mindset, speaking positive affirmation, things of that nature. Because what people don't understand, when you're trying to go to that next level, sometimes we are bound or we're stagnant because of something we haven't rootlessly dealt with in our life. And because
you're trying to get to the source.
You're trying to get to the source,
to the
and you
root
need to
of it.
release what it is that you're holding on to. Therefore, once you do, maybe you can go to the next level in your life. It could be a job. It could be somebody, a loved one that hurt you or passed away or something, or, your way. It can be different things that you're holding on that's very toxic that we need to release.
Right.
So in that is more of a mental transformation. And then once you do that, because sometimes some people need more time to do it, but I'm going to give you the steps.
The steps to do it. To go through the process.
Of the cleansing. And then once you do that, you build your dream board. At the end, we'll do a dream board, which stands for the direct realities of envisioning and keeping momentum. That's what that is.
So say it again. What is it called?
Dream board, direct reality of envisioning
Okay.
and keeping momentum.
Okay.
And I am currently creating a workbook. I haven't finished yet, but I'm creating a workbook and also a class later on. So I'm doing some things right now. I keep y'all updated on everything that's going on, but that's what's taking place right now. I am available to speak in the evening and on the weekend because I have a full-time job. But like
So
I
how
said,
can people get in touch with you if they want you to speak at one of their engagements?
if they want me to speak in their engagement, you can reach me at LaShonda Mays, or I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can find me there. You can call me at 469-732-7879, or my email, LaShondaMays@hotmail.com.
Okay.
And I do strategic empowerment and transformation speaking. I do a little bit of PR and social media, and basically goal setting, hitting those goals. And that's what and also talk about special education. I have stories behind that. But those are the things that I definitely speak on. But it's not limited to that. So if you need some women to come out and empower, I can do that, or talk to the children and everything. I'm not limited to just what I have. But so many great things that is coming for. So definitely check me out. I have another page called LaShonda Mays People Empowerment Transformation Movement. You go to my website. That's the Facebook page, but I have a website, and it's HTTP. You have to put all that in. It's crazy. www.LaShondaMays.com.
So how did you actually get into the public speaking? And the beginning, like the very first time you did it, what was that experience like?
My experience with public speaking started when I was doing Mary Kay, and I signed up the American Model Search, and I did 3 contests, and I won a acting and modeling contract. In that last category of that contest, I had to do a speech, and I came up with a poem, and I was like nervous and scared, stuttering, but I gave it. And then I said, okay, I like what I wrote, but I need to verbalize it a little bit better. And it trumped me to go to a verbiage speaking class at a church I was attending once upon a time. Got over 5 weeks, and then the lady said, hey, won't you go to Toastmasters? And I'm like, okay. And then a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months later, I went to Toastmasters. And after that, I killed it. I was like, check out of the box. So I definitely did that. And from then on, it's just speaking after speaking. Come on, come speak here. Come on, speak there. So I had to be sure I'm careful about not overbooking myself, because I also need rest. I also have to take care of my house. But at the same time, yes, it's just been, I've been flying ever since.
It looks like you just really enjoy it. And that's like the key, is when you can do things that you enjoy doing it. Whenever you can do whenever you can get to the position of doing what you do, and you would do it for free, that's when you know that you really arrived. Because you have the passion for something, and you would do it regardless of what your financial situation is. And that's actually when the finances start to turn around too. And you draw more in because of the energy that you're releasing. So when you are excited about what you're doing, it creates more opportunities to keep doing it, and then you just find yourself kind of spreading and growing. So it's really, that's a good journey.
Yeah, it's been wonderful, and a lot of doors are opening up for me, and I'm super excited about it.
How far do you want to see yourself go? Like, what is your goal?
My goal is actually to travel the world, really transforming lives, writing some books, doing some workshops and conferences, like on a Les Brown, Lisa Nichols level, Delatero level, and things of that nature. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm gonna do everything to get there. I know it's small steps before I get there, but I can visually see myself being there.
Well, this is the preparation.
It
for that.
is. It is part
All
of the
of it.
preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
I'm excited. I'm glad. I really am. It's just people. The magnitude of so many doors opening up for me has been a blessing itself. And
And again,
I'm always grateful.
That's the law of attraction, though.
Yeah. I'm saying it.
Mhm.
I'm thinking it.
Mhm.
I'm writing down. I'm reading about it. And I'm gathering myself around people that are doing big things on another level.
Mhm.
So I'm more than grateful.
Good. That's
I am.
good. That's good. So this year so far, you did your one event in January, then you have the 2 coming up, and then you just kind of open and just kind of filling in the calendar as you go.
Right. So I did the one in January. Now I had my keynote speech in February.
Okay.
And then this month I am a town North Division assistant division director.
Okay.
So I'm helping my director with 30 other clubs, making sure they're okay.
So when you
standard.
referring to Toastmasters?
Toastmasters.
Okay.
This is Toastmasters. So for this month, they had contests. We had 6 areas we had to do, and every area had about 4 or 5 contests. So of course, I have to be there to represent them and making sure the contests go well if they need help, and just supporting them and all the clubs that's there. So I had to do that this month. So I showed my face. I showed up, and I think like the 10th and the 17th, and then the following Sunday, I was just there.
Yeah.
So I said, no events in March. I'm going to
Yeah.
just make sure that I volunteer my time to do that with them.
Mhm.
And that's really it.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, I'm just filling it up as I go.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. Well, that's good. So, if you guys are in need of a speaker, reach out to this young lady right here who has a sincere passion to bring information to help you grow and develop and to heal. And what I've noticed about her is that the core is a healthy lifestyle. When it's spiritually, physically, financially whole, emotionally whole. So this is the foundation of what the Amazing Maze is all about. It's financial, spiritual, emotional wholeness. The whole person is who she is aspiring to cater to.
Right.
I wish you could be a part. I'm going to throw in a little bit. We have
Yeah,
another event also on April 7th. So if you cannot go to support LaShonda Mays in Texarkana, then you are more than welcome to join us at Brick House Lounge. HighVibe Media has an event called It's Our Time, and it's a luncheon, and we are celebrating the accomplishments of women, and we're dealing with holistic lifestyle. So our theme is also heal the woman, heal the world. And it's open to everybody. It's not just for women, but it is definitely celebrating women. And we need the brothers to support as well, because we cannot be whole without you. We cannot be whole without healthy relationships with our men as well. So you all can come out and support. And that information is on HighVibe page, as well as BH Lounge Arlington. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. Just go to eventbrite.com, type in It's Our Time, Arlington, Texas, and you can get your tickets, and we would love to have you. So if you can't go to Texarkana, then you come kick it with us in Arlington at Brick House. So some good things going on.
Yeah, we do. Like I said, I'm excited about everything that's opening up. You live and you learn, and you make connections with different people. And the good thing is, and we talked about this last week in dealing with self-restoration, once you have that self-efficacy, as Dr. Simone talked about.
So eloquently.
Yes, she did. Dr. Simone, yeah. So you definitely want to, once you figure that out what you're good at, Go for it. Don't even stop. Don't look back.
Just keep it
Don't
moving.
even worry about what people saying, because different people are going to say different things. You're going to find people to support you, and you're going to find people that won't support you, and that's okay. Because everybody's time in their life may be longer, maybe shorter, maybe forever. But you have to recognize who those people are.
Right.
Because I think that's very important. Definitely.
So let's take the minute right now to give a shout out to the team because it's almost time to wrap up. We got 5 minutes, but we want to shout out OB.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, OB? We want to shout out Lady G. Hey, Lady G. Hope you're watching. Share.
Yeah.
We want to shout out Epic
Uh-huh.
and Dr.
Dr.
Simone.
Yeah.
So what other things do you guys have coming up for us on the conversation?
We have some new things that are coming up for the month of April.
Okay.
I'm looking at bringing some counselors and life
good.
coach on, therapists, and just so many great other things. I know we had other people to show up, but Dr. Coffee is coming. I think it's Dr. Kofi. She's
Kofi.
coming back at another time.
I think she's been to HighVibe on a different
Has she
show,
been here? Maybe?
which I think is cool. I do.
And Ms. Bernicia Poole Watson, they'll come. We'll schedule them to come in at a different time.
Okay.
And so it's been great. It's been fun, and I'm excited. Like I said, we got more people to come in. Hopefully, we do some live events and get the things going.
Definitely some live events.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really it.
Okay. Well, all right.
All right. Well, I'm excited. And I know it's like 4 minutes till. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in, watching us on the Conversation Radio with Lotus J, who is our producer, HighVibe Media Marketing Group. Be sure to always tune in Mondays, 6 o'clock
Yes.
to 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
For a good conversation.
Yes. Be sure if you're not a friend of our page, like our page, follow us, leave some comments. If you have a business or something you're passionate about, and if you're in the DFW area, we would love to have you come on the show and be our guest. And if you're not, that is okay. Please contact us. 214-273-6146 or email us at theconversationradio@gmail.com. If you know any of the hosts, you can inbox us or call us, text us personally, and let us know, and we'll be glad to get you on the show. Anything else, Lotus J? I know we got 2 more minutes.
So let me give you the rundown of what else we have going on at HighVibe. So following this show, we'll have a little break, and then at 8:30, you can tune back in for Straight from the Hip with Shabella Rose, the rose that grew from the concrete. And she has wonderful guests. She has a focus on urban local artists, and really good platform to bring your talent and get some exposure. So that's our 8:30 show, again, called Straight from the Hip with Shabella, Big J, and Big Snake. So those are the hosts for that show. On Tuesdays, you can come hang out with me and my homies for the Black of the Berry. We are live every Tuesday from 8 until 10. And again, myself, Lotus J, Daryl the G Alexander, and my sister Solar. And we'll bring different topics, just kind of really catering to the community. We have a deep focus on the things that are relevant in the Black community specifically. So that's the Black of the Berry. On Wednesdays, we have the situation. So we have a group of guys, have a group of girls. Sometimes it's all guys, sometimes it's all ladies, and we come together and we discuss different topics. So that is a live show that we do at Brick House Lounge on Wednesdays at 8:30. So come hang out. We have other shows. You can get our whole lineup if you like our page and stay plugged in. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see the conversation every Monday, and you'll get notifications for all the HighVibe shows. Just go to YouTube and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but you will be supporting us. So subscribe to HighVibe Media Group live stream. And that's our time tonight on the conversation.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Lotus J.